The Galactic Council chamber hummed with tension as delegates from countless species argued. Today's session was different. An unusual topic had surfaced, one that even the most seasoned members leaned in to hear: Earth. A small, blue planet at the galaxy's edge. For centuries Earth had been written off, a backward world, barely worth notice. But recent reports suggested something had changed, sparking a debate. Should the Council reconsider Earth as a conquest target? The planet's resources were rich and its position strategic. For some, it looked like an irresistible opportunity. Seated among the delegates was Counselor Carver, an alien veteran whose experience spanned more lives than most could count. His skin bore silvered battle scars and his eyes held careful, world-weary wisdom. Carver listened as his colleagues grew steadily bolder, their arrogance mounting. They talked about Earth as if it were a mineral wasteland with primitive, weak inhabitants, easy to subdue. Carver knew otherwise. He cleared his throat and demanded attention. The chamber fell silent. They recognized the weight of his gaze. "I've been there," he began. "I've seen what humans can do. Underestimating them will end badly." A low rumble filled the vast room. "This isn't just any world, it's Earth. You speak of its people like they're insects to be crushed. But humanity is different." A murmur swept the chamber. Some delegates scoffed, others fell quiet, waiting for him to explain. "They think only in terms of resources and strategic positions," Carver continued, voice sharpening. "They ignore what those creatures are. Humans are unpredictable, resilient, dangerous. I've watched them adapt in ways that defy logic, find strength where they should break. They won't buckle under our power. They'll resist. If provoked, you'll see Earth is not the defenseless place you assume." Skepticism rippled through the hall. A delegate from the Sulan Confederation leaned forward, dripping with contempt. "So you're saying a species confined to a single planet, barely reaching beyond its star, could threaten the Galactic Council?" Carver met the delegate's stare without blinking. "They may be bound to one world, but they're clever. Their tech may look primitive, but they're relentless innovators. Humans turn the simplest tools into deadly weapons. We've seen it. Remember the last exploration fleets sent to Earth? They thought the humans would be easy to intimidate. Those fleets never returned, and now you propose sending more, as if those lives didn't matter." Silence settled again, Carver's words hanging like fog. Still, most failed to grasp the seriousness of his warning. To them, Carver sounded overly cautious, even paranoid. We're a vast, advanced collective. What threat could one planet pose? Another voice scoffed. Carver pressed on. "You say Earth's defenses are inadequate, that their technology can't match ours? But what's truly dangerous is desperation, determination. Humans have a survival instinct beyond reason. They'll use whatever they have, however rudimentary, with devastating effect. And if you corner them, they'll counterattack with a ferocity that shreds your assumptions." A representative of the Roar Dominion laughed derisively. "Counselor Carver makes them sound like legends. Surely you don't expect us to believe a low-tech race could stand up to our fleets?" Carver sighed, feeling the futility of trying to change minds. "Believe what you will, but remember this. Every time humanity has been pushed to the brink, they've come back stronger. They've faced threats that should have wiped them out, and yet they survive and thrive. Their quietness isn't weakness. They don't need to be loud to be dangerous. Underestimate them at your peril." The council leader, an imposing figure wrapped in emerald robes, raised a hand and calmed the room. A faint, indulgent smile tugged at the corners of their mouth. "Thank you, Counselor Carver, for your perspective. The Council has already reviewed Earth's capabilities extensively and found no significant threat. We don't doubt your experiences, but you must see humans lack the means to repel a large-scale invasion. Your concerns are noted. We will proceed." Carver's jaw tightened. He said nothing more. He'd seen this kind of decision before, watched arrogance blind entire civilizations. Even with his warning, the outcome seemed sealed. There would be no persuading them. As the council finalized its plans, Carver leaned back, heavy with premonition. He felt something irreversible stirring, the sense that they were about to wake something they didn't understand, something left alone for a reason. Quietly, to himself, he murmured, "They will not go quietly. Everyone will regret this arrogance." Unaware of the storm they'd set loose, the Council sealed Earth's fate and ordered an exploratory fleet to approach the planet. Carver's warnings faded into the background, though a seed of doubt had been planted. Maybe Earth was more than they'd assumed, but it was already too late to reconsider. When the council meeting ended, Carver sat staring into the vastness, resigned. They were about to stir something they couldn't comprehend, and the galaxy would never be the same. The exploration fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system, its sleek ships gliding silently through the dark. Fleet Commander Locke scanned the sensor readouts with steady curiosity. To him, Earth was another primitive world, barely reaching beyond its orbit, insignificant beside the Council's might. He dismissed Carver's warnings as old tales from a former age. Initial scans of Earth's defenses showed a scatter of satellites and ground-based weaponry that looked disorganized and weak compared to the fleet's tech. Confident, Locke broadcast the standard message, translated into Earth's major tongues, demanding immediate surrender. To his surprise, there was no reply. He sent a second transmission, more urgent, still nothing. Frustration crept in. He'd expected panic, pleading, or at least bluster. This deliberate silence unnerved him. His crew shifted uneasily. The humans weren't responding like other civilizations. No fear, no scramble to hide, just determined quiet. Locke ordered the fleet closer. As they moved in, unusual interference began to plague their systems. Static hissed across encrypted channels. Attempts at direct contact suffered brief, baffling interruptions. The more they adjusted, the more the interference shifted, like a defense learning and adapting in real time. A technician reported, voice trembling, "It's like they're watching us." These signals aren't random, they're calculated. Almost intentional. Commander Locke dismissed their concerns with a wave of his hand, refusing to admit he felt the same unease. But as the fleet drew closer, a new signal emerged, faint, rhythmic, pulsing from deep within Earth's magnetic field. It wasn't an attack, yet it was enough to rattle their confidence. The crew exchanged worried glances. They had been trained for invasions before, against civilizations with predictable defenses. Earth was different. Its silence, its unpredictability, unnerved them. Determined to test the planet, Locke ordered a small ship to fire a low-powered energy beam at what looked like an abandoned military site. The strike caused a minor explosion, and for a brief moment, Locke felt triumphant. Surely this would provoke a response. But nothing came. No retaliation, no panic. Earth simply absorbed the attack, as though it had never happened. Then the pulse intensified. Strange fluctuations rippled across their sensors, revealing scattered energy signatures hidden all around the globe. Without warning, a surge of electromagnetic interference struck the fleet, disabling shields for a few critical seconds. It was enough to shake every soldier aboard. Even as systems came back online, the sensors showed phantom readings, ghost signals that flickered in and out, forcing the fleet to chase shadows. "Commander," the lead technician stammered, "it's like they're toying with us. They know our every move." Locke's jaw tightened. He refused to believe humans possessed such advanced technology. He ordered reconnaissance probes to descend into the atmosphere. One by one, their signals vanished, swallowed by static. It was as if Earth itself had devoured them. Frustrated, Locke gave a desperate command: prepare a full-scale assault. Warships locked their weapons on key locations across the planet's surface. But before they could fire, a piercing transmission erupted through every channel. "Withdraw now. This is your only warning." The voice was calm, detached, unmistakably human. Locke froze. His fingers trembled over the controls. Never in his career had such simple words carried so much weight. These weren't the cries of a desperate species. They were the words of a power in complete control. Earth wasn't reacting with panic. It was responding with cold precision, as though every move had already been anticipated. The longer they lingered, the clearer it became. The humans had been expecting them all along. Fear spread through the fleet. What they had dismissed as a primitive species was revealing itself as something far more dangerous, something prepared. Locke's pride crumbled. With a heavy heart, he began to issue the order for retreat. But just as the fleet turned to escape, hidden orbital platforms around Earth revealed themselves, unleashing synchronized electromagnetic pulses. Engines failed. Power systems collapsed. The retreat halted instantly, and then came the drones. Hundreds of them, sleek and relentless, swarmed from the shadows of space. Each moved with terrifying precision, striking the fleet's weakest points. Explosions tore through ship after ship. Panic consumed the crew as their defenses crumbled. These weren't random attacks. The drones adapted in real time, learning from every maneuver, dismantling the alien armada with surgical efficiency. Ship by ship, the fleet was reduced to wreckage drifting in the void. This isn't a battle, Locke realized in horror. It's an execution. The Earth had waited, prepared, and now, it struck with the cold, merciless certainty of a predator. Locke's training was the only thing keeping panic at bay, but even that discipline was crumbling under the cold precision of Earth's defenses. He knew his life, and the survival of his fleet, was slipping away with every passing second. This wasn't just a battle. It was a message, not only to the Galactic Council, but to the entire galaxy. Humanity's response: swift, calculated, merciless. Then, through the comms, a final transmission came. The voice was calm, steady, unmistakably human. Your presence here is an act of war. Withdraw if you can. But know this, if you return, there will be no survivors. The words hung in the silence, absolute and final. Earth was not merely defending itself. It was declaring sovereignty, drawing a line that no one could mistake. Locke felt the crushing weight of that truth. Humanity's strength wasn't just physical. It was psychological, overwhelming. Every tactic the fleet had relied upon had been anticipated and dismantled. They had come expecting a fragile species. Instead, they faced warriors forged by centuries of survival. The drones halted their assault, giving the shattered fleet a moment to comprehend the scale of their defeat. The few alien ships still operational limped away, carrying the scars of a confrontation they had never imagined. Earth had revealed itself, not as prey, but as a relentless force, prepared to defend its home at any cost. As his ship barely held together, Locke replayed the human transmission in his mind. Those final words echoed like an irrefutable truth: humanity was not to be tested. They were guardians of their world, willing to fight with a resolve that defied comprehension. Back in the council chamber, holographic images of the ruined fleet flickered across towering displays. Delegates shifted uneasily in their seats as the reality of defeat sank in. A supposedly primitive world had reduced the council's forces to wreckage. The chamber fell into silence. Councillor Carver watched the others with grim satisfaction. His warnings had been mocked as paranoia, but now, fear was etched on every face. The council, long convinced of its own supremacy, was forced to confront its vulnerability. The council leader, straining to maintain composure, cleared his throat. This incident is a setback. Yes, their defenses are formidable, but we are the Galactic Council. We have the resources to respond. Carver's gaze didn't waver. We already tried a decisive response. And you saw the result? Humanity is no desperate, barbaric species. They planned this. Every move was calculated, to send a message, to warn us not to underestimate them. A murmur spread across the chamber, half in denial, half in agreement. Some still clung to arrogance, others lowered their eyes, unwilling to meet Carver's. He pressed on. You dismissed my warnings as superstition. But here we are. Humanity has proven their determination, their adaptability, and their refusal to be conquered. They are not prey, they are defenders, and they have drawn a boundary we'd be foolish to cross. Another delegate, red with anger, slammed his fist on the table. So we submit to a tiny, insolent world. Carver's reply was sharp. Respect is earned, not imposed. Humanity respects their own sovereignty, and they've made clear they'll defend it with everything they have. If we push further, we risk more than fleets. We risk our standing across the galaxy. The chamber fell into uneasy silence. Finally, the council leader asked quietly, "Then what do you propose, Councillor Carver?" Carver's eyes swept the chamber. "I propose we learn. Humanity has no ambitions of conquest. They are defensive by nature. If we leave them in peace, they will likely do the same. But if we provoke them again, we may awaken. Consequences far greater than a single lost fleet." The room grew heavy with his words. Delegates shifted, the arrogance that had once filled the chamber replaced with unease. The truth was clear. Earth was not an anomaly. It was an emerging force. Then, the chamber was interrupted by a new transmission, broadcast directly from Earth. The voice, calm and steady, spoke with terrifying certainty. We do not seek conquest. We do not desire dominion. But know this, any future incursion will be met with force. We will defend our home and our people without hesitation. You have been warned. The message cut abruptly. Silence followed, heavier than any explosion. Earth had not only repelled the Council's fleet, it had done so with a confidence that defied all expectation. Humanity had spoken, and their words could not be ignored. For the first time, the Council began to see itself not as untouchable, but as fallible. Delegates whispered of new approaches, of coexistence rather than domination. Carver stood alone as the chamber emptied, a quiet satisfaction in his eyes. Humanity had not only proven their strength, but their wisdom. The Council had been humbled, forced to accept a new reality. Earth's message was now written among the stars. Even the smallest spark can burn into an unquenchable fire.